Good evening, everyone. Welcome to part 2 of our show, where we will be discussing some of the things we're going to be doing for you, the American people, in the upcoming years, if we are successful. And I must say that we just left off with the solar rooftop revolution, which is an idea I came up with many years ago. That Hillary Clinton mentioned the same idea that I had been talking about for years during the debates, and this is a viable solution to get people rooftops that even literally side to side we could go completely cover your rooftop, making it unnecessary to even re-roof that side of your house. It's a win-win for everybody, and we can do this on a lottery basis initially to get started, but the government can fund the initial startup and build businesses installing solar rooftops. And you could have a mom and pop business of 5 people, your family, young guys in the family, doing this and making money as you go, up to 20 bucks an hour on average. We're also looking at a homestead renewal plan, which will give people a $15 an hour job, up to $25 an hour, fixing up houses, starting at $15 an hour. And we were just talking about the 5G network and its safety across the globe. We're going to leave that discussion behind. We're still kind of waiting on more information. It is an ongoing concern of mine that the 5G network is not getting the necessary help in analyzing its safety that the government should be doing. We are the basic income group here. I came up with the idea with Sarah back in 2012 of basically a baseline plus, baseline being a set amount of money per month. And we put a number on it. Initially, it was $400 a month. Now it's up to $500 a month. And I even said that if Andrew Yang were to win the Democratic nomination, I'll up it to $1,010 a month to beat him by $10. We're not going to sacrifice the American people. If this is what they want, a basic income, we'll deliver it. I'm not afraid to take on those tough choices. But I don't believe Andrew Yang is going to win the nomination. I think that Joe Biden is probably going to take the nomination for the Democrats. It's pretty much a foregone conclusion, unless, of course, Biden has another aneurysm and more brain surgery. He already had 2 brain surgeries to deal with 3 aneurysms, and nobody in the media talks about it. Tragic day on the Santa Anita racetracks. Another 3-year-old gelding named Commander Coyle suffered a fatal shoulder injury while galloping during training. This is the 24th death at the Santa Anita racetrack since December 20th. Something is wrong with the track itself, and the people that run that program need to get on this. It's crazy how the track itself is just not properly smoothed or something. The horses are just falling, literally dying, breaking their legs on it. So something has to be done. Santa Anita needs to get expert track makers to go out there and redo these tracks completely. I mean, right down to the very ground has to be dug up and rebuilt. Clay can turn into mud and turn into dust, and then it turns into just a pile of loose dirt, which the animals can't gain ground, can't have good footing, and end up dying because of it. Or it could be something other than that, I don't know, but an investigation should go forward. Okay, so I was going to mention the CCC, which is a program I've got very similar to FDR's program. We're going to put that on the screen here, the new CCC, and I'm talking about the Civilian Conservation Corps, a group that was used to inspire our country during Franklin Delano Roosevelt's time, which could easily help fill a lot of jobs for young people, especially working as replacement park rangers. We need more and more people working in our parks, because I plan on cutting the cost of our park rangers' salaries and then shrinking the park rangers and increasing the CCC, because we've got a lot of things we need to do. We can't possibly solve problems without creating jobs at the same time. So the CCC is one of those ways to do it. You could call it the Cannabis Cultivators Club. There you go. Because we do want to legalize marijuana too. That's another big plan America's Third Party has. And if you haven't heard that plan, here it is. The Pro-Hempoline plan. getting marijuana legalized, recreational marijuana is just the start. We will be able to melt your leaves and your hemp leaves as well, and they'll be able to turn them in for cash. We'll be able to create a fuel called hempoline, which is very similar to diesel and can be integrated into our diesel system, and we'll give the people that convert over to the green diesel $1 off per gallon. And we'll even give you replacement filters for your big rig diesel, so that you won't clog those filters up. But if you do switch away from green diesel back to regular diesel, we won't comp your diesel vouchers. It's like you either convert to green diesel or you don't, because if you keep going back and forth, you will clog your filters. And what I mean by clog is hempoline will actually clean all the tar and goop that's in your diesel engine and make it run more efficiently. So they have to go through the filters in the process. So ironically, hempoline is going to run cleaner and better for our truckers, and that'll lower the cost of food and products that we get to the store. That's one thing to do. Cut the cost of diesel. It'll help our big rig truckers. All right. Did a lot of tweeting this past week. Yeah. Yesterday, today. I'm kind of staying in touch with the news. And John Bolton is looking to start a war. Yeah. He really wants to start a war with Iran, and he's dragging Trump into it. You know, I'm the guy who came up with the idea of getting our troops out of Syria. Trump liked it so much, he told everybody he was going to withdraw from Syria. Seriously. And then Bolton stopped that and said, no, that's not going to happen. And now Bolton's inspiring the Pentagon to look at an attack on Iran. Iran has 4 times the strength of Iraq in terms of army. They've got over 500,000 personnel on the ground, trained militia, men who can actually fight a ground war. It'd be foolish for us to start a war with Iran, yet Bolton is like trying to do this. And let me remind you, this is the same guy that was in our government when George W. attacked Iraq and Afghanistan. So he's got a major plan up his sleeves. And if anyone still doubts just how dangerous war with Iran would be, they should listen to yesterday's warning from former CIA Director General Petraeus. Yeah. Here he is. You know, he has a felony, you know, for sharing information with this woman he was dating, even though he was married, a woman named Paula. So he has a felony on his record, but he's still the preeminent authority on Iran. And he said it would be perilous. That's right. He said an attack on Iran would be perilous. Iran, remember, bears little comparison to Iraq, which collapsed so readily in the face of British and American troops. Iran is 4 times bigger than its neighbor. And they go on to threaten here, there won't be any war, they don't know. Basically, Trump he threatened them, and then they threatened back, and then he said he's going to threaten to end them. Paula, yeah. General Petraeus had a relationship with a woman named Paula. I know. And I would release her last name, but I think it's in her best interest to remain anonymous. Yeah, the FBI was watching General Petraeus like a hawk when he was with this woman. I think she was a journalist. And here he is taking like a standard picture with her. And he cheated on his wife with her. He was spotted in a motel room with her. The FBI had photographs of it, closed case. It's interesting to note that the whole story was brought to light right before, like 2 days before, he was going to testify regarding Benghazi and Hillary Clinton's involvement in Benghazi. And right before this, 2 days before, they accused him of this extramarital affair, and then General Petraeus didn't say anything about Benghazi. Mum's the word after that. As long as Donald Trump is being pursued by the Democrats, he'll be looking for any diversion possible. And I don't believe war with Iran is something he would hesitate to even initiate. So yes, I do believe that Donald Trump is stupid enough to start a war with Iran. I do. Especially in lieu of the fact that he's pretty much looking more and more guilty as time goes on, holding back his financial records, resisting anyone accessing documents, telling Don McGahn that he can't talk or testify about how Trump was trying to stop the Russian investigation. Time and time again, Trump would be running around, storming around, insisting they stop the Russian investigation, everyone telling him that that's not allowed, you can't do that, that would be obstruction, Mr. Trump. Apparently that went on all the time. Hey, thank you, Evil Empire. Damn, Dave, I've been watching you since 1998 on Blog TV, and you still got great hair. Well, it wasn't 98, it was 2008. We started Blog TV. Yeah, I wasn't doing on-screen work in 1998 that you know of. I met Sarah in 1998. I know, Trump's running his mouth off, claiming he should get 2 years more of the presidency because the Democrats wasted his 2 years. No. Any president has to be able to work and handle legal involvement, especially a president that's guilty of obstruction and collusion. He has to be able to run the country and handle the accusations at the same time. The job is a 4-year slated job. Either he gets it done or he needs to move on. And he will be facing felony charges in New York, we're pretty sure. So he's been to unbelievable efforts to stop access to his Deutsche Bank documents. It looks like Trump has done quite a bit to interfere with Deutsche Bank staffing. Let me show you what happened with Deutsche Bank here. Hang on. Oh, yeah. That's right, 2008. Okay, I've got a little ditty about Jack and Diane I have to take care of here. Okay. I lost my Twitter feed. Hang on. Here are my tweets. Okay. Bringing up the article again. Okay, Mr. Trump and Mr. Kushner sometimes do large all-cash deals, including with people outside the United States, any of which can prompt anti-money laundering reviews. Okay, here's the story. Deutsche Bank staff saw suspicious activity in Trump with Kushner and the Russians. Anti-money laundering specialists proposed filing suspicious activity reports about transactions connected to President Trump and his son-in-law. Now, we're finding this out because Deutsche Bank won't release the records. Trump is blocking any records of his Deutsche Bank activities as well. And we're finding out that this behavior of him being investigated was talked about among the low levels staff at Deutsche Bank, but at the high level, they shut it down. This is a woman that spotted the problem. Tammy McFadden, a former Deutsche Bank employee, saw potentially suspicious transactions involving the company of Jared Kushner, Trump, and President Trump's son-in-law and advisor. The anti-money laundering specialists at Deutsche Bank recommended it in 2016 and 2017 that multiple transactions involving legal entities and controlled by Donald J. Trump and his son-in-law, Jared Kushner, be reported to a federal financial crimes watchdog. Now, this is an important fact because Trump immediately tweeted that New York Times was a failing newspaper and was responsible for this because they're jealous of him. Yeah. So he blames New York Times being jealous of him for bringing up a fact about Deutsche Bank. I mean, this guy is willing to attack the messenger anytime something pops up, especially since this is all we have from Deutsche Bank, is this woman's statement, and others, there are 4 others as well that said the same thing, that they aroused suspicious activity, Jared Kushner and Trump. So that's another side note that's still evolving as we continue to see new rulings showing that Donald Trump has got to present records. Yeah, seriously. Accountants must turn over financial records Lower court judge rules. So Trump, no matter what he says, he cannot stop these records from going forward, or he will be charged with felonies, and all of his people will be charged with felonies and contempt citations. And this one, judge rules against Trump in subpoena fight as the White House blocks McGahn testimony. He doesn't want McGahn to tell people that he was running around asking to end the Russian investigation, which he's already said to Mueller in his testimony to Mueller. He would openly say it again, otherwise he'd be perjuring himself. Don McGahn won't be testifying because Trump is obstructing justice yet again. I rest my case. Now I'd like to go back to the reading of John F. Kennedy's in the Jewish Virtual Library, his statement to Israel to expose their nuclear program at Dimona. Yes, I was talking about it earlier in the pre-show. It is because of our preoccupation with this problem that my government has sought to arrange with you for periodic visits to Dimona. When we spoke together in May of 1961, you said that we might make whatever use we wished of the information resulting from the first visit of American scientists to Dimona, and that you would agree to further visits by neutrals as well. I had assumed from Mr. Mayer's comment that there would be no problem between us on this. We are concerned with the disturbing effects on world stability, which would accompany the development of a nuclear weapons capability by Israel. Hey, you know, I'm wondering if this President John F. Kennedy had a chance to really look at Dimona, don't you think he would have wanted Israel to sign the nuclear non-proliferation agreement instead of being a total towhead Zionist supporter like Donald Trump? You got to wonder, I mean, what did Israel do to deserve such special treatment? And how does it impact countries like Iran? That they somehow can have nuclear weapons in Israel and Iran can't have any? I just don't understand and I don't think the Iranian people understand it either. They don't understand why Israel is getting all the benefits of all of our forgiving nature. And let's not forget the men that died at the USS Liberty. 35 men died attacked by Israel, and LBJ did nothing. Nothing. Not even issue like a statement. So what exactly did Israel have over America? Well, it turns out the very same people that created Israel also backed Hitler. Ironically, the Zionists, the very same people that Joe Biden proudly says he's one of them. And of course, Trump is a Zionist too. Yeah, he is a Zionist. Biden says he is.
There is this inextricable tie between culture, religion, ethnicity, that most people don't fully understand, that is unique and, how can I say it, so strong with Jews worldwide. There is a, I mean, you know, I used to say early on when I was a kid, I'd say, when I was a young senator, I'd say, if I were a Jew, I'd be a Zionist. I am a Zionist. You don't have to be a Jew to be a Zionist.
No, obviously you don't. And Hitler's proof of that. Hitler was a Zionist as well. He supported the takeover of Jerusalem. He wanted to take it over to get the Ark of the Covenant. But many people, as far back as 1917, a group of the Zionists have organized a thing called the Balfour Declaration, which created the State of Israel. So there you have it. Now for a change of venue.
Hey, do you ever wonder, like, what is going on? I mean, like, do you ever, like, wake up or do something and you're just like, what the fuck is going on?
Exactly. Yeah, I always have woken up to that thought. So what are they trying to do? You noticed a couple of major events happening in the news recently, of the Sri Lanka bombing and the New Zealand attack on the Muslim mosques. what's happening really is what I call Caliphate 2. It's led by Zionists who are using propaganda to make it seem like Muslims are on the rise and terrorism is coming at us from all different sides. That the very same thing that led us into 9/11. Now tomorrow we'll be talking about 9/11 on Truth Tuesday, but in this regard, this is a conspiracy theory that I have, that they're generating the media and hype in order to create this fear of ISIS. Now ISIS could be any number of things, and even the fact that Iran has attacked ISIS forces would make Iran seem like a good organization in the eyes of the world, don't you think? Because the Shiite majority of ISIS will attack ISIL-led forces, and ISIS claims to be ISIL-led forces. So ISIS is ostensibly like Al-Qaeda was. It's just a name that they created right around 2010. And they were using the word ISIL for a while, and then ISIS. And even Barack Obama admitted to adding funding to support ISIL forces. So it's like we were behind it all along. The Pentagon, in a few years back, reported that they spent $540 million faking those green screen beheadings. That news item didn't get to the front page. It was sitting in the back op-ed pieces near the op-eds in the New York Times. We didn't hear about it. But it was out there. $540 million was used as propaganda to create the effect of green screen beheadings by our own government. So they're doing everything they can to foment the need for a war, because at the very core of this conspiracy theory is that our country needs war to survive. In 1975, the government did a study at the Rand Corporation and determined that without war, our country couldn't survive. And we found that out through the Freedom of Information Act because the government didn't want to tell anybody about this study. But the government finally had to admit that we cannot survive economically without attacking other countries and building a military war machine to do so. Now that's not because it's true. It's because nobody has come up with greater ideas to build our economy up, like building renewable energy solutions for the world. No one in our government has led a plan to build products that could actually be exported around the world, as opposed to our government using cheap labor from foreign governments at a cost to the environment. No one's come up with new ideas for America, so the military-industrial complex is the go-to solution for our country. And that's why these people have been pushing this agenda of propaganda. And the more they push it, the more people fear terrorism, and the more they want to fight it over there and not fight it here, justifying yet another war in Iraq or in Iran or Afghanistan. So we're looking at a possibility that Donald Trump is making the groundwork, calling 125,000 Iranian guards terrorists. He declared them terrorists last week. He may just decide that they're part of the ISIS forces. Even though they've been fighting ISIS forces, Trump may just decide that these Iranian guards are ISIS forces and that we're going after them, and we're going to attack and take care of these terrorists over there so they don't come over here. That's his mentality. The same thing that got us into Iraq and Afghanistan. And the same person, led by John Bolton. Huh. Irony can be very ironic. Yeah, Hillary funded ISIS, yeah. And the fact is, ISIS may very well have been an operation going on at the time under the alleged name of the MEK organization. MEK, M as in Mary, E as in Everett, K as in Kevin, was a terrorist organization dating back to the Shah of Iran. And many people believed back then that they were an organization that may very well have been supported by the CIA. Well, right after Benghazi, in fact, the day after Benghazi happened when Chris Stevens died, literally the day after, Hillary Clinton, as Secretary of State, removed MEK from the list of known terrorist agencies around the world. Right, literally the day after. It was almost like payback. Like, okay, you do this, get rid of this guy who knows too much about the Libyan oil and the gold, and we'll give you we'll remove you from the list of people that attack anyone. So that happened. MEK is no longer a terrorist organization in the eyes of the government, but yet the Iranian Guard could be, according to Donald Trump. I can't play anything. Rock the Casbah is a monetized song. I can't play that, or they, charge me for invading the brains of all of you with the reality. Let's put up a stinger and see what it says. Okay. It didn't say anything except we're heading toward a prison camp on Earth. Like that government-controlled opposition shill, Alex Jones. The prison planet people. Yeah. Someone accused me of acting like Alex Jones, and I don't. I don't talk like him at all. I may look like the original Alex Jones, I will admit that, but I don't talk like Alex Jones. I'm certainly not owned by any government agency like Alex Jones is. Yeah, but many people are shocked at the uncanny similarity.
Be replaced by Agent Bill Hicks, or was
This is the original Alex Jones. His face is very unique insofar as it seems to indicate that it's not the same guy as the person we currently have. And ironically, I was doing radio at the exact same time that Alex Jones was doing radio. I was doing radio in Northwest Washington. Yeah. This is the original Alex Jones. He was somehow missing in 1997, and he was replaced by a guy who looked a little bit like him. Bill Hicks, the comedian. And he became known for his... Yeah, let's see if I can get a facial comparison here. Now, if I am in San Francisco, I can't do this. I can't compare my facial recognition to Alex Jones because they're passing laws against... You heard that? It's pretty funny. You can see the similarities between our faces. It's kind of uncanny.
You're not going to believe this, but the Bilderberg Group are taking over. The Venetian royalty are working on a plan to turn it into a new world order.
Anyway, the real Bill Hicks is long gone. We don't know what happened to this guy. This is a conspiracy theory that Bill Hicks was replaced by, or rather, Alex Jones was replaced by Bill Hicks.
Alex Jones also a CIA agent, and for whatever reason, he was unable to fulfill his current assignment, so he needed to be replaced? While it is unclear who the first Alex Jones really was or what happened to him, what is clear is that there was a replacement. A replacement who had begun his career as a comedian and is now an actor in a reality show of false hope. He is a quite convincing actor whose true identity is William Melvin Hicks.
Did you see that? Did everyone see that?
It is important for the viewer of this video to know that Bill Hicks is 12 years older than what his character, Alex Jones, claims to be.
Okay, so there's that conspiracy theory. We got a question, David. How long do you think Putin is going to protect Assad? Forever. Putin will always stand by Assad because Putin is a nationalist. He supports Mother Russia and its former satellite nations as Soviet Union. Hang on, I've got a salute. I've got the sound of freedom over my head. That decibel level triggered my patriotic gesture. Yeah, well, they use the area above my house as a testing ground to see if jets can fly 10 feet apart. And, you know, they do a good job. I was amazed. I looked up in the sky a couple of months ago. I saw, well, actually, about a year ago, I saw 8 of them in an octagonal fashion, 10 feet apart. But about a couple weeks ago, I saw 3 jets 10 feet apart, flying above my house at about 300 feet. Impressive job, I must say. Good job, guys. Imagine if you had touched your wings, all the devastation you would have caused, like those Blue Angels when they crashed. So yeah, Putin will always protect Assad. It's a given. It's part of the former satellite nation, Syria was, former Soviet satellite nation. Putin is first and foremost a nationalist. He believes in Mother Russia, but he gets a lot of money from the Zionist oligarchs that control him. Putin is, one of the unique characteristics about Putin is he's very good at what he does. He is very aggressive, and he carries their party line very strongly, yet he appears to be a capitalist on the side with a large amount of money. So he was kind of groomed in the Politburo. As a young man, he was kind of like the guy they used to, joke around with. And his father was the food tester for Joseph Stalin. And in case you didn't know, Joseph Stalin had such a dictatorial control over Russia that he literally killed 20 million people in the gulags. More than Hitler did in the Nazi concentration camps. So Putin has a lot of clout with not only the Politburo, the former Politburo, but also the Russian mobs and the oligarchs who are connected to Zionism. So it didn't take long to realize that they control both the East and the West, these same Zionist influences. They're seeking a new world order, and they're trying to put the new world order on the table for all of us to accept within our lifetime, maybe even sooner than later. And they want this done quick. They have a plan of depopulation too, which is at the very core of all conspiracy theories. I do believe that Bill Hicks is Alex Jones. In fact, Alex Jones already said that he's a performance actor. He's not Alex Jones, the person. He's a performance actor playing the role of Alex Jones. The real Alex Jones is gone. We don't know where he went.
That being said, let's play a little game. How old is that man? 30 or 42?
I'm going to say 42 on that one.
32 or 44?
I'm going to say 44 on that one too.
35 or 47?
Definitely 47.
39 or 51?
That's a guy who's 51 years old. Yeah. Yeah, and I'm 59, so how the hell do I look so young compared to this guy? Unless, of course, I was the real Alex Jones. And that's hard to believe because I'm not 5'9", I'm 6'4". It's all getting very confusing. No, his lawyer said that because it's the truth. He is a performance actor. And he makes a lot of money. And he's not making the money on performance enhancement vitamin packs. And so far he hasn't sold my fruit enzyme spray, which I use regularly on my show.
You're not going to believe this, but this amazing fruit enzyme spray that David Sponheim is using keeps his eyes looking a lot younger. And that's how I'm going to get back to my early look when I was a much younger man.
You see, I rehydrate my skin cells every 15 or 20 minutes during the show. It helps. Otherwise, I have these crow's feet that are just, this guy's 51 years old. He's not 35. And the guy's obviously Bill Hicks. Well, let's be clear. If you want to believe that Alex Jones or rather Bill Hicks is, if you want to believe that Alex Jones is really Alex Jones and not Bill Hicks, then you might as well believe that I'm Barack Obama. Yeah. You might as well believe that, because I did a video called Broke Insane Obamas, where I performed a skit where I looked like him. Yeah. Back in 2009. It's all over YouTube. You go to youtube.com/David John Sponheim. you'll see 2 hours of my Barack Obama, or Broke Obamas 2. This is what we're really after, and this is what we're dealing with every day.
State-sponsored terrorism, the power of the deep state, false flags, COINTELPRO, MKUltra, government meddling in personal affairs, our privacy under attack. Fight back, America. Build this third party.
There is ample evidence that a concerted effort is going on to propagandize and control the political views of the American people. Their primary goal is to disarm the American people and to lead us toward an imminent fate that they see is the only way out, a new world order. Well, we say no. I support the nation-state model, and I support everything this organization is trying to do. I'm David Sponheim, and I support this message.
So somebody asked me, what evidence do I have that Bill Hicks is Alex Jones, that Alex Jones is not Bill Hicks? Well, the first available proof of Alex Jones' height was registered at 5'9". That's a fact. Alex Jones' height was originally 5'9". It's now been morphed to 5'10" on the wiki. But Bill Hicks's height is 6'1", and with Bill Hicks' extra weight, it's about 6 feet. So if you were to take a simple height check on Bill Hicks right now, it would show that he is in fact 6 feet tall, which is not jive with the height of the original Alex Jones, which is 5'9". Now I'm 6'4", like I said, so I can't be Alex Jones, unless of course my knees were replaced with silicone implants and my back was stretched on a cage, which would have been very painful. Yeah. You can get an extra 5 inches out of your body if you go through a tremendous amount of they install silicone insertions in your spine, your vertebra, and your legs have to be reinstalled. They have to have artificial kneecaps. That's the only way I could be 6'4" and still be Alex Jones. And I didn't have that surgery, thankfully. Anyway, the reality is that, yeah, if you just take a tape measure and measure the guy, he'll be 6 feet. He won't be 5'10", even if you accept the new version of his height. So that alone will tell you he's lying. If it comes down to just something simple like that, then go for it. But good luck getting a tape measure near Alex Jones. It's probably like holy water near a vampire. No, not the tape measure. Something like that. All right. Hey, we're having some fun. A judge today upholds the Democratic subpoena for Trump's financial records. So we're on an upturn toward total collusion. We will be analyzing the total collusion package, which will be continually being discussed. Somebody said, hey, man, you got to drop this stuff about Trump and respect him as your president, dude. No, dude, there's more than enough evidence that Trump colluded. We're not all Trump-tards here, dude. Yeah, sorry. Nice try, though. Yeah, so I do talk about total collusion on our show on a nightly basis. I don't mind because it's true. You know, there's certain things that are self-evident. That all men and women are created equal. And that Donald Trump colluded with Russia and tried to obstruct and is still trying to obstruct. Well, let's be clear. I think it's important to look at these facts. Cheating during the election, having 127 visits with his Trump team with Russia before the election. Why would Trump send his people over to Russia 127 times? And for that matter, Trump was asked, are you doing any business with Russia? No, absolutely no business. And we now know that he was doing business with the Moscow Tower deal, that he was willing to offer Putin a $50 million penthouse suite. That's how viable Putin is. So yeah, we know that for a fact. So you can't say there's no proof of collusion. Oh, there's a lot of proof of collusion. 127 times meeting Putin and his team prior to the election. So I'm thinking Vladimir Putin could possibly run as a vice president under Trump's next administration. I don't know about you, but I mean, there's no reason why Vladimir Putin can't claim he was born in Honolulu. Just throwing it out there. I mean, Barack Obama got away with it without any proof. So, Russia, if you're listening, you may want to run for re-election as Trump's running mate instead of Pence. I think the Trump-Putin ticket would be a win-win for both the Republicans and the Russians. What do you think? You like that? I know a lot of you Republicans must really support Putin, because otherwise you wouldn't, you know, take this as no big deal that Putin controlled and rigged our election. Be no problem for you. But now Russian documents reveal an even more sinister plan. NBC News has this story. Russian documents reveal desire to sow racial discord and violence in the United States. Tell me that's not weird. The revelations come as U.S. intelligence agencies have warned of probable Russian meddling in the 2020 election. And Trump didn't even bother broaching this issue when he talked to Putin privately with no record, just like all his other 7.5 hours of phone calls. No, not rigged like this. You're talking about Russian involvement in our election. And you traitors on the Republican side really need to rethink your plan. Otherwise, you may be looking at serious crimes yourself. Yeah. You think I'm kidding? This man right here is one of the agents involved. We talked about this earlier. Yevgeny Prigozhin at the meeting between Russian and Turkish officials and business leaders in 2016. Russians were linked to the interference in the 2016 U.S. election, discussed ambitious plans to stoke unrest and even violence in the United States as recently as 2018. According to documents reviewed by NBC News. And Trump would say, oh, this is another NBC News, oh, that's fake news. That's all the Russian hoax. Disregard everything they say. It's not that I believe anything other than the fact that you are a total non-supporter of our room, and therefore I am banning you permanently from the show. We ban people who don't support us here, Tyroian. Yeah. Bye. Yes, Alex Jones is 5'9.5". You think. That is right. Except, how come this guy playing Bill Hicks is 6 feet tall? I don't believe this man is really Alex Jones here. We all know he is an imposter. Real Alex Jones looked like this. Are you leaving the room? We had a lot of people leave the room tonight. Gosh, I guess we're down to just a couple of chatters who have credibility here. Yeah. Oh well, that's how it goes when they drop out of the show. You take George Carlin's approach to voting. In other words, Joe, you don't vote. Operator standing by, 707 your ATP. Feel free to call, but just don't do another death threat, because all those calls are recorded and your voice is, the entire recording is sent to the will be sent to the NSA. Yeah, if you're threatening my life, we do record your voice, and that's a veritable fingerprint on the internet. Anytime you use a cell phone or a cordless phone, we'll be able to hear your voice and know where you live. So feel free to call 707 URATP, your ATP. Operator standing by. In attention. So I guess this isn't floating. You don't want Putin to become a vice president? Okay. I guess it didn't work. Even the Republicans don't want to vote for Putin. Isn't that amazing? Well, there's hope for you people yet. I know you can't really expect much more than what you're getting. What you get is a good, solid solution toward Iran. Now, if Putin really is controlling Donald Trump, then if Donald Trump attacks Iran, that means Iran won't be able to get Putin's support to fight us back, because Putin likes Trump too much. So Yes, the Ayatollah Khamenei will not be as liked as Donald Trump. I think I think Putin favors Donald Trump over the Ayatollah Khamenei. Don't you think? Don't you think if we attacked Iran right now, Russia would just bend over and give in? Because obviously Putin doesn't want to disrupt his relationship with Putin. Gracias. Thank you. I had to ban those people. Oh, you too. You're back again. Oh my gosh. You keep popping back. That's Melko. He's psycho. Psycho Melko. Yeah, jousting, really? Well, I think we've got a good, strong relationship now that Putin controls Donald Trump. I think Donald Trump could probably let Putin take over Venezuela, too. What do you say we give Putin Venezuela and Donald Trump gets Iran? Good deal? Because we could pretty much, with this relationship, this newfound relationship Donald Trump has with Putin, we can pretty much work some major deals and take over a lot more countries, don't you think? Well, now you're thinking like a Zionist. Yeah. Trump kicking out Huawei is a mistake upon a mistake upon a mistake. His big mistake was imposing economic sanctions against Iran. My idea was to not sign the treaty, which he copied, but then he didn't want to follow my idea of extending the vouchers for economic sanctions, preventing economic sanctions from being imposed, which has now put us in a very bad strait with China. And now Trump is screwing up in that department as well. I think Trump is due for another meeting with his benefactor, Henry Kissinger.
Right now talking about Russia and various other matters. We're talking about Syria. Everybody knows Dr. Kissinger. And we're right now talking about Russia and various other matters. We're talking about Syria.
So yeah, he's due for another visit from Henry Kissinger, I think, in the next couple of weeks to kind of bring this whole thing together. Yeah, Joe, well, if you believed in voting, you could definitely get somewhere with this vote, for sure. At least I'll be representing average people in America as opposed to the two-party cronies of the Zionist elitists. No, I haven't gotten the slogan, what do you have to lose to vote for Sponheim? I have, it's time for Sponheim. We're working on a new slogan, one that matches your mentality, like, well, let's not give you any preamble. Right? I don't want to show you any previews of this particular slogan. Now, Donald Trump is doing something else that's really exactly what the New World Order wants and Kissinger would want. He is sending a lot of the illegal aliens that are now pouring over the border because he couldn't build a fence in time. He's now sending them to other cities in America. So you're all of you Trump supporters are going to see a lot of immigrants come to your cities now. I'm not going to reveal my new slogan yet. No, Mr. Cohen, I won't be on the ballot. I'm a write-in candidate. Thank you, though. If you can get me on the ballot in your state, you can go to America's Third Party and find out. Go to our old site and click on the state button. It'll tell you how to do it. No, Manko, we don't ban people. We just ban Melko. You're the most banned person on our show. There is no power here. No. I'm dealing with a guy who's psycho who stalks the show, and that's you, Melko. Thank you. Bye. Yeah, so a lot of you Trump supporters, do you mind if I call you Trump tards? Thanks. If you really look at the big picture, now you're going to be seeing more illegal aliens coming into the country because Trump didn't build a fence that it's my idea, it's not Trump's. And he couldn't implement it if he tried because he's completely a buffoon. But now that he didn't have the fence in place, you can all watch him bring illegals into your state. And he's hauling them in. The Department of Homeland Security has begun transporting undocumented immigrant families to cities beyond the U.S.-Mexican border due to capacity limitations at Border Patrol stations. Since December 21st, the official said Immigration and Customs Enforcement has released roughly 180,000 migrants into the U.S. interior. The same program that Catch and Release was all about. And Donald Trump is now bragging that the sanctuary city idea is his. That's how completely retarded everybody who voted for him must be, to think that he should brag about that now. So now all the people that supported Donald Trump now have to accept the fact that he's sending them all these illegal aliens to their home city. Isn't that amazing? So Trump-tards, get ready. You're going to have a real switcheroo coming, and get ready to get rid of your weapons too. Donald Trump supports gun control. Another New World Order plan. Yeah. You're going to see your weapons taken too. Anyone with PTSD, that's a new law that's being proposed. A couple states are going to be taking weapons away. Here in Washington, anyone who's suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder will have a visit from the police and they'll take away their weapons. Yeah, you guys with a military record of PTSD, you're going to have to surrender your weapons here in Washington State. Welcome to the New World Order. And you asked for it. You Trump-tards asked for it. You got it. That's right. How do you like them apples, huh? It won't matter what you buy. It'll be taken and seized, just like in Washington. They're implementing those plans right now. Here, Mr. Colin made this inane statement. If we got rid of all weapons, we could stop crime. Are you mentally retarded? Criminals can get weapons anytime they want illegally. Are you that stupid? Well, wait a second. You're a libtard. I forgot. Oh my gosh, we've got libtards and Trump-tards in here at the same time. This is fantastic. This is exciting, isn't it? So the people that run the show own Putin. They own Trump. They also have a horse in Denver at the airport that's very, very amazing. It's a huge sculpture that actually killed its sculptor. The sculptor that made this horse actually landed on him and killed him. But this is a representative of the New World Order and what they're doing. They control Putin, they control Trump, they control anybody they want, because most everybody is viable, except for me. They've offered me $300 million to stop doing the show. And I said no. I'm unviable. They did it not once, but twice. Yeah. They're concerned that this show is seriously making some differences out there. Our reach around the world on UHF is mind-boggling. It's not like our chat rooms, which are controlled by Mark. And I think Mark's paying iVlog too to suppress the chatters over there too. Yeah, I don't trust the entire either chat room, and I certainly think Twitter is also affected. Twitter, we have an inordinate problem there too. Well, I'm not saying it's a low or high offer. I'm just saying I don't accept money to cease and desist. Oh, I am watching my back. Yeah, especially for people like you, Mr. Colin. Yeah, I don't do anything without being fully prepared for any kind of gunfire that comes my way. I'm a sharpshooter. I could blow a gerbil's asshole away at 200 feet with a handgun. Thank you. David, you said New World Order has controlled our country for a long time. Yes, it has. George H.W. Bush was a person who pretty much ran his entire plan. George H.W. Bush is connected to a guy, his father, and George W. Bush's grandfather was Prescott Bush. And Prescott Bush was a money launderer for Adolf Hitler. And you can thank the amazing work of J. Edgar Hoover, the guy they want to vilify and call a raving queen, a homosexual, because he's the guy that found out that Prescott Bush was money laundering, and he kept an eye on him. But the Bush family gained a foothold before we could stop them, and they implanted their crony sons, who, by the way, was adopted. George H.W. Bush was adopted by Prescott Bush. This guy's the son of an adopted man. This guy was German at one time. Believe it or not, George H.W. Bush was actually named George H.W. Scherf before he came to America. I know this is hard to believe, but there's a serious website called thebushconnection.com, and if you check this site out, it's intense. I'll show you a little bit of it right now. Hang on. Turns out George H.W. Bush was in the German Luftwaffe. as a young pilot. He was really a Nazi SS spy. And this man who's exposed this at the website, thebushconnection.com, thebushconnection.com, shows you George H.W. Shurf's connections. And here you have a good solid photograph of him as a young man. There he is. Right down to the cleft chin. So don't kid yourself. We've been lied to by the worst of these people. And it goes deep. It really does. The Nazis embedded themselves in our country back after World War II. Oh, hang on. I got a good one there. Yeah, anyway, I'll get into the depth of this at another time, but we really are fighting the Nazis again from within our country. And the Nazis now merged with the Russian oligarch Zionists, because remember, the Nazis were Zionists. The Ashkenazis were Zionists. Well, let's be clear. Don't kid yourself. Yeah, they were. And like I said, Zionism preceded the Israelis, the beginning of Israel, significantly. It started a long, long time before. 1917, the Balfour Declaration was engineered. And the Zionists were originally, at their earlier time, they were originally 1890s, the start of the Zionist movement. And it's not a Jewish organization at all. It had used and bastardized this idea of Jewish being the chosen ones to have domination of the world at various areas. So they don't want me to be known in the media. I talked about that. The last person that knows it. Yeah, look how much money the Carlyle Group has made since 9/11. Exactly. And the Carlyle Group is a very, very popular, I guess, takeover artist group. They take over companies as a rule. No, I can't post my address in chat, no. Mr. Colin, you're not fitting in very well here. I'm going to put you on mute. And if you come back saying anything else like that, I will ban you. You're behaving slightly different than Melko, so I'm allowing you to stay in the room. But Fingolfin is Melko. You can see that. He's the same crap coming out of his mouth every time he comes in here. It's kind of funny. So yeah, the connection between our leaders and the Nazis is very solid. I can prove what I said is true. Prescott Bush worked as a money launderer for Adolf Hitler when he was vice president and director of the Union Bank of New York. So if you want to research this, you're welcome to it. Meanwhile, let's stay distracted for a while. What do you say? Trump's got a lot of distractions in the works. Another angry moment at North Korea, threats of attacking North Korea yet again. Shows you how unstable that whole meeting with North Korea was and how useless the Hanoi meeting was. And by the way, all the meetings were planned by the Russians and Minister Lavrov. So Putin was behind Trump's first meeting with North Korea and the second meeting in which they cheated Kim Jong-un out of 900,000 bottles of vodka. They literally bribed Kim Jong-un to come in and pick up 900,000 bottles of vodka. And Lavrov turned him in, and all that was seized and sent back to Russia. That's pretty amazing. Yeah, it's like, here we go again. Well, if things seem like they're being repeated, it's because the world is being repeated over and over again. The same bad people are doing the same bad things. So we'll get now to the second part of the show and bring you Sarah.
Here we go again. Here we go again.
Been there, done that. There's nothing new to it. I felt this rush before. And as we have reached it, the peak of everything, we're falling like rocks when you decided to. Been there, done that. There's nothing new to it. I felt this rush before. And as we have reached it, the peak of everything, we're falling like rocks when you decided to. Been there, done that. There's nothing new to it. I felt this rush before. Woo, yeah!
Oh yeah.
Okay, Sarah's back. Let me adjust the screen a little bit. We've got a little problem with the color.
I think he's already shocked him enough behavior.
Okay.
Thanks.
See you in a bit.
They're so shocked. It's shocking. Anyway. Okay. Anyway. An orange face? That would be funny. A narsil reminds me of narwhals. I know, I was setting quietly for a few minutes, so I'm going to do that again. Hello, Joe. How does it go? It goes well in my neck of the woods. I'm doing, yeah, I'm doing very well. Thank you. I'm enjoying my life. I'm always busy, but that's just me. Busy bee. Beaver bee. Busy person. Yeah, busy is good. It is good. I seem like a fashion-oriented woman. Me? Fashion-oriented? Okay. What do I think of about a guy wearing shorts or overalls? Shorts are acceptable depending, they have to be well made, and they, like, I'm thinking of on a deck of a cruise ship. That's where I see a guy wearing shorts. You have to have shorts longer than your fingertips. Like if you were to stand up and a guy wore shorts that were like shorter, like down like there, that would be way too short. Like they almost have to be like just above the knees, I guess. That's about it. But they can't, guys can't, I wouldn't like a guy in very short shorts. Keeps me from thinking about all the mistakes I make if I'm being funny. And overalls, I often think of farmers when I think of overalls. So if you're a farmer and you're a guy, I think that overalls might be quite useful. Wait. I was trying to picture a guy the other time to wear overalls if that's all you're wearing, like you're not wearing an undershirt. Wait, let me think how that would look. And you're very muscular and well built. That might work. But other than that, oh, if you're not muscular and well built, make sure you wear a shirt. Preferably long sleeved. Well, I don't know. And Anyway. Oh, yesterday you made a mistake. You bought organic horse manure. It's in the greenhouse, but it stinks. Your mom says you need some topsoil with it. Topsoil. Yeah, the other thing I was going to say is you can use the horse manure in your worm bins. They will do that. I described you to a T 30 years ago. I described myself to a T last year. This year I've let myself go a little bit. I guess I turned, you know, I got past the 40. I became 41 and I'm like, I want chocolate. Instead of, I should work out. Oh, thank you. 582 Operation Hammer. I'd write that down somewhere, but trying to think, Leopard. Usually, I'm not a big fan of perfumes and colognes. Definitely don't like any perfume at all. Yeah, I wore perfume and I didn't like myself when I wore perfume. I'm not a fan of perfume on a woman at all. Men sometimes a little bit can be nice. But then again, I don't know. If you just gold aftershave, okay. Usually, I mean, and this is really good. If you don't wear any perfume or, I mean, cologne or aftershave, then if a woman likes the way you smell without it, then you're going to have a very good relationship for the rest of your life, because there's going to be days where you don't want to wear perfume if you do get into a long-term relationship. And if they love the way you smell without it, then it'll be great. So forget the perfume. It's too artificial, or cologne or whatever. It ruins your nose, and you can't really tell if they like you or they like the cologne. Whereas, oh, I like David doesn't wear cologne. There's certain times I love the smell of David. And that's one thing I do really love about him. That's ridiculous. Whatever, 582. Then they should just have unisex sports and allow women to be in men's sports. Well, just, I mean, take a shower with really, you know, good soap, like normal soap, not super smelly soap, but normal soap, and then, you know, I don't know. But the thing is that you have your own natural pheromones, right? There's this one thing I heard about, these smelling dates where you go in and take an old t-shirt, or you take a t-shirt, you put it in a bag. Not like a super stinky t-shirt, but a t-shirt that you might have worn at least an hour or two. And you put it in a bag, a Ziploc bag, and they put your number on it. And then they have a bag of men's stuff, shirts. Maybe both of them, men and women, mixed together. I don't know. But anyway, and then it's kind of like speed dating, but it's smell dating. And you smell the bag, and if you like the smell, they have the numbers and the pictures of the person up above, and because you put your number on the bag, you don't put your name, and then you go and find that person that has the smell that you like. Yeah, I thought it did sound kind of interesting. That wasn't around when I was dating, but I mean, if they don't have that, that might be a good business to run in your area. And that way, you know, if someone's attracted to the way you smell, then, you know, you might hit it off. Pheromones and all that. Well, Junket, I suppose you can put that in the bag. Something you wore in that. Yeah. See, I gave you guys business ideas as well as dating advice. But people are attracted to, you know, someone that's attracted to your pheromones, your natural pheromones, that's the way to go, instead of like trying to fake it with cologne. I don't like the way my feet smell of leather. But in other substances I do. But why would you want it smelled, Junket? Never mind. Never mind. Moving on. I think it was one of those Netflix shows. With all of the, you know, gingers like me have a tendency to get like freckles or sunspots. Okay, I have a freckle on my hand, see? And then I have some freckles on my arm. Anyway. Really? Well, my mom is really a real auburn. I'm more of a chestnut. Auburn mix. Something like that. Well, that's good to know. I don't know if I find that attractive, freckles. David doesn't have too many, so that's good. Another piece of advice, well, for me, from my perspective, do trim your chest if that's an issue. Just like you would trim your hair or your facial hair. Yeah, I agree, Lepra, maybe. There's this one lyric in a song, something about, hey, soul sister, I'm your Mr. Anyway, and it says, a lyric in that song says, my heart is beating out my untrimmed chest. I'm like, trim it, dude. Well, not total, I mean, yeah, no, yes, I do mean that. Trim it. Just like you would want a woman to, like, groom. Whatever you expect. I'm just thankful that I have normal hormones for the most part. No, I don't mean that unless that's what you would expect of a woman. No, I don't know. Well, that goes against what I said earlier about a woman should accept you the way you are. But it would go both ways. You would want to accept a woman the way she is. Now I have heard like beards are like big now. They're like trendy. Women liking guys with beards and beard balms and taking care of beards and trimming it. That's what I mean about other areas, but I don't think it all has to be one completely. Your wife calls you Captain Caveman because your heart is beating out of your untrimmed chest. But there is a difference from a beard that's like taken care of, right, to bushy beard. They're totally different. Oh yes, I know what you meant, bingo. Are there any plans for a veggie garden cast? No. I'm sorry, there are not. But that worked really well. I should go take some pictures of my garden and show you some pictures. Would you like to see some pictures of my garden? I could do that. I'm just trying to think if I have a video would be 100 times more interesting. I just have to be careful of videos. I suppose I could go take a video of myself. I don't have any bees in the video. If every once in a while there's a bee pollinating in the garden, but that's about it. I don't have any hives or anything like that. But I suppose I could walk in the garden and covered in bees? What? That's funny. You like your coffee covered in bees or covered in honey? Oh, the difference between beards, the kind you can and the kind you can't have around a grill. Oh, Eddie Izzard joke? Okay. Hair, some people say hair is an extension of the nervous system, and certain people have developed skills through this knowledge, like native Indian trackers. Wow. Huh. I'm glad you had a nice breakfast, Anita. Oh, I think I got a mosquito bite. No. It looks like I have an active audience of about 5 members, yes. Area 582, Democrats voted unanimously. Oh. They're hellbent on destroying America. They want... True. Should there be a comma in your statement? War games, like, no, comma, hair is dead cells beyond the road. What time is it there now, Anita? It was 5 a.m. in the morning. Wow. Who's IQ mix? Ha ha. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Never mind. Akua MX, are you alive? Watching? Hello, Bangalitis, Bingo, chat room celebrity. Evil Emperor. Good. And everybody else I did say hi to. I am on this late because my schedule, I was a little bit off. Actually, I shouldn't have been off. There was no reason for it other than I was doing some work and got sidetracked. But I didn't come on till like 7:45 instead of, 6:45 instead of 6:30, and then I just came on at like 9 instead of 8. I was busy creating a slideshow and emailing people. I've been busy with that lately.
Hey.
Yeah.
So I combined those tonight's rice with your other dish for a lunch for you.
Okay, I'll probably take it the day after tomorrow because today I ate something different.
Okay.
Just because.
You don't have the steak?
No, I have it for tomorrow.
Oh, okay. That'll work.
Yeah.
Yeah, check that out. Something new came in.
Oh, okay. Which one?
It's one of those. That one right there.
Got it.
They're both available. Thank you, Sarah, for coming in and doing that. Yeah, check it out. It's pretty cool.
Okay.
All right. Hasta la vista.
Okay, hasta la vista.
Thank you. Yeah, that was quite an experience having a rest. Yeah, Sarah works really hard, and it's hard to stay, clicking during a show when she's giving me a break, and I don't expect anything from her, and she's so kind to come in and do this. No, the tie is not distracting. It's designed to make you think. These are thought bubbles. Every one of these bubbles represents one of your thoughts. Yeah, count the bubbles. That's counting. That's using your brain. Mathematically, you're grouping, ungrouping. You're learning how to think. I've got to retrain the human race how to think. It takes a while. Fluoride has had a very dangerous effect. It lowered our IQ by about 20 points overall. And all of you who are drinking sugared water and tap water and even beer has fluoridated water in it. 67% of our municipal water systems are fluoridated. So, yeah. Most of your brain cells aren't clicking, just so you know. Huh? What? What, Dave? I don't understand. Well, when I'm spanking the monkey here and we're showing you what's going on, you don't get it. That's the problem. The libtards and the Trump-tards are hell-bent on destroying America by dividing the country. By hating each other, they are slowly eroding our ability to function as a country. You see, divided, we're conquered. United, we stand. And so far, we're not united under this two-party system. It's screwed up. It's not uniting us in a common... Because a lot of us agree with the same things. Many of us in the center want gun rights. We want to bear arms if we want to. Just like a criminal can grab a gun, why would U.S. citizens not be allowed to bear arms? Plus, it's the last line of defense against an attack on our country. So, of course, the New World Order wants to get rid of our guns. You know, that's what they do. The Divided States of America, exactly. The DSA. Welcome to the good old DSA, everybody. So, by hating each other, we're not really accomplishing anything. Getting down to gun rights, I think there are a lot of Democrats that support gun rights, and I think there are definitely a lot of Republicans that support gun rights. Republicans tend to want to push for pro-life. That's not the agenda of the majority of us. More people are in favor of Roe v. Wade's decision to give a woman the choice. So we have to come to some grips there, but I'm more than willing to compromise and suggest that any woman going to Planned Parenthood that is funded in some way by the American government should be offered an ultrasound to see their baby, and at least be forced to look at that ultrasound for about 5 minutes while they think about taking that baby's life. And that's an idea I came up with in 2010, like I said earlier, which I think should be exploited. We should do this. It can't be that costly to put an ultrasound device, and those things are way overpriced at hospitals, so let's just get down to earth and afford ultrasound. I mean, if Tom Cruise can buy an ultrasound device to look at his baby, I'm sure the American people in Planned Parenthood could afford one in their offices. I know you're right. You're right, Dave. That's true. And this ridiculous war with China isn't helping us, bottom line. And we're not gaining anything from just a standing war of words with China like Trump is putting out.
China now. China. You know, China. I know China very well. China.
Northwest Wisconsin, where I'm from.
It's China to me. China. You want to buy from China? That's great. Buy from China. Buy toys from China. China in particular. China. I have people that I know in China. China.
China. Yeah, I would like to defund Planned Parenthood. Yeah. What do you mean, why? Because they're selling baby body parts. You didn't see those expose videos that brave man took? And now he's serving two-year jail sentence for not getting authorization to film Planned Parenthood, talk about selling baby livers and baby heads and baby whatevers. Yeah, you missed that one, huh? Why would we want to fund an organization that sells baby body parts? Okay, we've got a Ford Expedition sled rollover crash test. You're going to see it up close and personal. Here we go. Ford Expedition in a rollover. You're watching a potential dangerous situation here. Wow. Look, these are crash test dummies. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, when you dish a car off to the side like that, that's what happens. Yeah, any car will do that. Oh my God. Okay. Thanks for sharing. Man, this is just endless. Endless crash tests of the Ford Expedition. Yeah, any car will do that. If you dump it like that. Jesus. Jeez. Dave? You need you're removed from the show because of your inane comments. Aquamex, what's going on, man? Amputee, El Salvador. You know, I don't know. Amputation, I'm going to pass on that one. Yeah, I don't really like to play next to snuff films on the screen. That would be not appropriate. I've seen enough crash test dummies hurt, you know, in a harmful way to shake a stick at. Yeah, nor does Sunchild want to see any snuff movies or anything like that. So yeah, maybe you should go back to the Pope and ask for forgiveness for that. Say a special prayer and a few Our Fathers and get back to us on that. Thank you. It's hurtful to see crash test dummies in that fashion. It really is. I'll feel their pain. I feel their pain. Oh, back to the Trump-Putin election? Yeah. I think we know that that's not going to happen. I know there are only 20 people in here, Misanthropy. I'm fully aware of every show. You know, I was writing about this in my book last night. And I was writing how we had hundreds of people coming in here when the guest chat was allowed. And you see what Mark is doing is he's being paid to slowly shut our show down. It's like a slow kill. They know if they shut it down immediately, I'll jump to another network and everyone will jump over there. But gradually they make it harder and harder for people to come into our show, and the chat room is locked out. So people can still watch us on our network and they can see our uploaded videos, but they can't always get into chat. Now right now in guest chat, Mark has, let's see, this should tell me. And there was talk about Mark buying iVlog last week too, with all the money he made. No, guest chat doesn't exist anymore at Vaughn. When our chat was hit with thousands of people, Mark shut it off. All chat at all the networks. Mark shut it off. All chat at all the networks. Okay, now see, look at the viewer count right here. And I got 127 people live views right now watching the show at Vaughn. 127, and that's not even a real number. That's a fake number too. That's been it has an algorithm. Somebody found the scripting for it. It's an algorithm that's a type of script that will actually change 100 down to 1 or 1,000 down to 1. So we're looking at probably about 1.2 million people watching us on Vaughn right now. They call it 124. And he's got us whittled down to 20 people in the show. So right now I'm looking at, based on the current assessment, 1.27 million people. And you see the fluctuation increase right now rapidly? That's not just a couple people, that's millions of people watching us. This is how they're doing it. They're doing it by controlling the count number and also by knocking people out. That's right. See, even look at Bod Ghetto Finger says, correct, David. Look at it, we got the VIP text saying, correct, Dave. Yeah, we haven't seen Mark because Mark, you know, he did say publicly that he cried actually over T. Rucker's death. And then T. Rucker went on camera and started doing a show a few months later. So Mark doesn't, his credibility factor kind of declined at that point. His site can handle millions of viewers, but what he does, and Mark admitted this, is he prevents 350 million VPN IPs from getting into our chat room. That means 350 million VPN IPs could lead to about 2 to 3 billion people on the planet unable to get to our chat room. It's a very defined way that they're controlling us, and we would jump over to another network, but so far those networks are dwindling as well. A lot of the free networks are disappearing. Remember StreamUp? They're a music site now, an indie music site, like yeah, MySpace turned into an indie music site. Thank you, Pope Francis, for coming in here. Yeah, I realize that your hands are tied right now, and Pope Benedict is causing us a scuffle within the Vatican. And I understand that there is 38 priests that have signed on to this ridiculous heresy charge against you. And all you were doing was following my advice, Pope Francis, and in no way is that heresy. Yes, so I'm beginning to see the world through your lens more than I was earlier. Because I think Pope Francis actually went and charged Cardinal Pell and Cardinal McCarrick because of this show. I really believe that he listened to our show. I do. And thanks, Patoro, for keeping the Pope abreast of what this is all about. As you know, I don't support a global world order like the Pope does. Yeah. Not into it. If that were to happen naturally, that would be one thing, but it's not happening naturally. It's being artificially created by very wealthy people. Yeah, I'm not in favor of a new world order. I am in favor of global communication, but Pope Francis is on record here calling for the end of sovereignty and establishment of a global governance, which in my opinion is separation of church and state does not allow for the Pope to tell us what to do, especially every nation and every sovereignty. I mean, he's asking for dissolving borders in order to create world peace. That's ridiculous. The only thing that's kept world peace together over the years is the nation-state model. And it's the only thing that withstood all attacks by any individual to take over the nation-state model, like Hitler, like Caesar, like Napoleon. Many people have tried to take over the world. These people now who think that they control the monetary system think they can take over the world. And it's not going to have any resistance. So we don't support that idea. I believe that every nation has its own serious priorities that they have to deal with. And a global governance would only completely eliminate the ability to actually solve problems. Kind of like the Soviet Union was unable to solve problems in outlying areas because they lost the people. The people stopped believing in this communist revolution. Same kind of thing. It loses the will of the people when they no longer think they can govern their own area. All right. We don't know what happened to Ghost. He's no longer around, Bengalitis. We believe that he is a ghost. It's kind of ironic he chose that name. Okay, I've got a couple things coming in from Scissor Fight. I'm going to bring those in. 153 news items. Jeffersonian Girl is going to talk about the F-16 crash and how fake it was. Excellent, thank you. And proof ISS doesn't exist. NASA caught faking interviews from the International Space Station. These are really good, these 153news.net sites that deliver this great alternative view and alternative news. NASA really is faking a lot of things. I'm convinced of it. And they've taken nearly $500 billion of U.S. tax money and delivered a really high-end studio underwater. We don't need that. We wanted space exploration, not an underwater studio with a green screen. Yeah, legit people will use VPN, but you got to understand, in this world where people don't have a lot of money, VPNs are hard to get. They are. There are some VPNs you can get as low as $2.95 a month if you buy it the whole year in advance. There's a couple of them out there right now. But that, who has like 80 bucks to access the internet? Really? And if you pay by month, it's about $110, $120 a month if you go with a standard fee of $9.95 a month. Yeah, so VPN is kind of an unnecessary expense for most people. But the reality is not every VPN can get in. Like I said, he bans 350 million VPNs. Do the numbers, man. If 350 million VPNs are banned with even 100 users per VPN, you're talking about half the world. Or at least 10 users, half the world. Okay, good. Well, I'm glad that's over with, which is nice. This story came in earlier tonight. Israel attacks Syria 2 consecutive nights while hosting Eurovision finals. The Syrian government says Israel has launched airstrikes in the country twice in less than 24 hours in a broader campaign. And this is from 2 days ago. State reported anti-air defenses shot down hostile targets coming from the direction of occupied territories. So Israel is using their position in Syria that we helped them attain to launch rockets at Syria. So this is kind of an ironic thing. Trump mouthed what I said, we should get out of Syria. And nobody, especially Bolton, is in favor of that, and nothing is happening. Trump is ostensibly a mouthpiece. He doesn't accomplish anything. He can't pull out of Syria at all. He never will. Trump is just told what to say, and he reads off a script, kind of like Barack Obama. A lot of these people just sell out because they want to be president. That's their primary goal, is to just put a feather in their hat. And make money, too. He's a total puppet. They can't get in. Most people who watch us on UHF don't have even a signal for the internet. Our UHF audience in the billions, they don't even have the affordability of an internet signal. They have to go to a library or a public internet location to even get out. And people in North Korea, if they are caught downloading our show, they're sent to Camp 22 or worse. Yeah. And Bot Ghetto Finger says, yeah, there's shortwave radio too. People listen to our show that way. Exactly. We've been on the cutting edge of news and information sharing since we started, and it's mostly due to this great work of like Scissor Fight and Chatroom Celebrity and others. Even Bengalitis sends us links now and then. The links we get off the internet really are edgy and alternative to the mainstream media, and I think that's one of the reasons why this show is so good. And also, I'm not afraid to take on any subject at all. When I first started this about 10 years ago, we were immersed in a world where, well, you sent a few good links too, Misanthropy. Yeah, you have. We've been immersed in a world of incredible, I guess you'd call it lies and deceit when we first started this show. And not many people even knew about the New World Order or the Illuminati. These were words that were bantered around in the outskirts, but now it's becoming more of a mainstream discussion. And Zionism, I've been carrying that torch for a couple of years now, has been at the core of the origin of the New World Order. So we're trying to expose these powerful elitists that control the mainstream media, and they don't want anyone to know that this is their game plan. In fact, Biden is a Zionist. Trump is definitely a Zionist. He wants Israel to dominate forever and ever in the region. And I don't have a problem with Israel being Israel and maintaining their own sovereignty and their own airspace against all attacks. And I see them as kind of cornered around by 7 major Arab nations. I also believe that Saudi Arabia is on their side now, Israel. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. And I'm not saying it's a good thing either. I just don't want it to dictate world policy, and I don't want to be moved toward a global conflict like a World War III occurring in the Middle East, which is kind of where this is going. Because Zionism has a tendency to push the barriers of stability in the world dynamic. And since they did it earlier with Israel, now they're doing it with the world. And this could potentially turn our entire world upside down, all of us. And that's one of the reasons why I'm calling out the Zionists. It's not that I dislike Israel, or Jewish people for that matter. I actually like Jewish people. It's that I'm extremely concerned about their global plan, the expectations they have of world domination. That's what raises my ire and makes me concerned. And that's why I do the show. I believe we're headed toward that potential danger, where we won't have any rights left. Our personal privacy will be stripped away from us. They'll continue to lie to us in the media, presenting false flags after false flags, making it seem like terrorism is creeping up at us all the time. It's kind of like the Brave New World. And everything is scary, and we're forced to live in fear. And it's exactly that. They're creating a state of fear among the people, where ultimately they'll want to get rid of all their guns. And when they do that, it'll just be like Adolf Hitler taking over the Jews in the ghettos. We'll have a mass exodus, maybe a pandemic, and they'll send everybody to FEMA camps, in which they will systematically destroy everyone. And the great concern that many people have is that this 90%, their target goal for depopulation is 90% depopulation by 2030. That's an incredibly weird and messed up thought, that they'd be willing to commit genocide one way or another to get rid of 90% of the population if necessary. Now everybody's waking up to this reality that that's their intent, and I'm not the only one who's talking about it. Even world leaders like Ted Turner actually said publicly that he wants to see a reduction of population by 95%. And he wanted to force people to have 2 babies. And ironically, Ted Turner had 5 children. which kind of puts this in perspective. Nobody's following any directive here. And why would the human race want to get rid of the population? It's ridiculous. There's nothing that makes sense about it. Every species has a survival instinct, and we do too. And we're trying to stop these bastards that think they can control the future of the human race. It's pretty outrageous they think they can do this too. And they've been getting away with this belief too. It's not some make-believe idea. Here he is, Ted Turner, on genociding 95% of the population.
Stabilize the population. When I was born, there were
so what's wrong with the population? I mean,
with too many people. That's why we have global warming. We have global warming because too many people are using too much stuff. But if there were less people, they'd be using less stuff. We're altering the climate and the world in so many different ways. And what we're doing is reducing the Earth's carrying capacity so that each year the natural world gets poorer and less able to support the increasing number of people. We have a finite world, but an infinite ability to increase our population. We've got to stabilize population on a voluntary basis. Everybody in the world's got to pledge to themselves that 1 or 2 children is it. Right. And we've got to do that because otherwise all the gains that we make in redoing our energy system are going to be erased by population increase.
Exit stage left. Okay, this is the plan to get rid of ocean, basically create fresh water from an ocean pipeline project that I've been promoting. The concept is to take salinated water or salt water and put it in the middle of this area that then uses the sun baking in on it to heat it up. And it creates evaporation, which then drips from the top down to the side into these reservoirs, which could then be stored in potable reservoir containers, and we can create enough fresh water for large groups of people around the world. There's no reason why we'd have to limit the population, and with the creation of water, we have the possibility of food. And with the possibility of food, we have prosperity for all the countries involved, and we don't have the warring environment that's led to conflict in the past. And most of the wars that were fought in the Middle East were not about sectarian beliefs initially. They were about access to water. Later, the Sunnis and Shiites developed an animosity toward each other's religion, but primarily the early aggression was toward water. Jordan has the most fresh water of any of the Middle East nations, and they're the most secure. You never even hear about Jordan. You know, it's like, wow, they're doing great. Bill Cosby will never spend a day in prison. Really? I thought he was in prison.
So this fucking idiot here, obviously...
Okay, this guy says he's not in prison. Wow. Tree half dead. Oh, you got a few links. Great. The McDonald's new drive-through menus will change based on weather, traffic, and time of day. And here I thought I could get a breakfast burrito for a certain time. They shut down at 10:30 in the morning. Heartburn stops at 10:30, and you begin the lunch menu. Oh, you didn't hear Ted Turner say that? Okay. I'm a little behind in chat. Sorry. Yeah, he did say it. Oh, great. The Fukushima people made a Yucatan for my radiation plan. Oh, yukata? Oh, let's say what a yukata is. Yukata this, ikata that. Yeah, I'm trying to find out what it is. A bathrobe. Really? Okay. They made a bathrobe for me. That's nice. For my Fukushima plan. Okay. Thank you. Don't send it to me. A tree half dead next to a 5G transmitter. The side closest to it is dying. The side further away is still alive. That's a good video too. Good job.
Right, here we go.
Folks, you know, we were talking about the 5G network earlier, and I said that, you know, it's best to play it safe when it comes to radiation. Yeah, don't hold a cell phone next to your head. Keep it away from you. Use speakerphone. But this guy actually noticed a very big difference in his proximity to his smart meter and the 5G networks as they grew vegetables. Let's take a look.
Here we go. Right, so we have a tree here. Not a very good looking tree. All the bark's falling off. All on the left hand side. Look on the left hand side of that tree. Look on the right hand side.
Yep.
That's alright. Yeah. Right, well look at the right hand side of the tree. Look at the flower. Look at the bushes. Look at the green bushes. Yeah. Very nice. Look at the left hand side. Dead. Do you know why? Because that's right next to it.
Whoa. Wow.
Look at this. Have you seen anything like that in your life? It's got a light right there. The transmitter on the top. Now, how is that? Explain that.
Explain.
The right-hand side of the tree that's not next to the transmitter,
no.
Growing away from it,
yep,
is okay. I mean, look at this. Look how shocking.
Yeah.
Look at all the bark falling off.
Explain that.
All dead. Totally dead. Far too close to them lights. Look at the bark. All on the left-hand side, look. Look how close it is to the light. These 5G transmitters are lethal. If that's what it's doing to a tree, right next to a tree, think about what these are doing to our health.
Wow.
Just think about that for a minute.
I'm thinking about it. Wow.
Right.
Right. I'm going to put that in Viro and in tonight's run. And we got another one from Misanthropy. Thank you. Very good. This one is Dispatches, it's called, Inside Facebook and the Secrets of the Social Network. Excellent. 47 minutes. Very good. That's exactly what I was looking for. And we'll go through the one Scissor Fight brought me. We've got the Jeffersonian girl about the F-16 crash. Says it totally is fake. Another crash with no plane. We've got proof that ISS doesn't exist. NASA caught faking interviews from the International Space Station. This is all coming up at the top of the hour. Park Rose High School gun scare. Anne Vaughn, crisis actor exposed. 10-minute video there. A lot of videos there to watch. And then this one that just came in, Bill Cosby will never spend a day in prison. Interesting. I thought he was in prison. So, and this story, McDonald's drive-thrus will change based on the weather, traffic, and time of day. Oh, nice. Big, possibly weird. Changes are coming to your local McDonald's drive-thru. Wow. The company spent $300 million to acquire Dynamic Yield, a New York-based startup that uses artificial intelligence to personalize customer experiences, compiling data about how individuals make their sandwich and soda purchase choices, and using that data to predict how other individuals will make them. Hello, you look like you could use a fish fillet like Donald Trump. Hi, you look like you could use a salad shooter and a malt shake based on the way you look. based on the way you look like you're probably in need of one of our new cannabis-infused juice drinks. I mean, how weird is that? The digital menu displays will make super specific adjustments store by store. Its menus could learn this over time and start highlighting the dollar menu and combo deals over other menus. Maybe you're in inner city McDonald's and people are, buying combo, like buying $1 items. Maybe you're in an upscale area where they're buying combos left and right. It styles it to that menu. It tells you how high to jump. It infuses the food with vitamins. Now, I'm just making all that up. But yeah, it could be anything. Now, this is the undeniable truth about Barack Obama. I know this is old news, but bullshit attracts flies. And he did have a lot of flies on his face. It'll know what you regularly order, of course. Yeah, it'll have facial recognition technology, except in San Francisco. And it will be able to identify your feces from a distance, especially in San Francisco. They don't allow facial recognition. Do you think they should have fecal recognition software? So like in San Francisco, we would know which bag person actually defecated that? Just a thought. Okay, Oroville Dam, weather modification, and unmanned aircraft involved in geoengineering. They have prophesized that the dams will break.
Hi, everybody. It's May 20, 2019. I just want to show you the lake level, the water level at the Oroville Dam.
Wow.
Lake Oroville, 890.99. So it's going down, which I find a little suspect because since I've been looking at it for weeks now, it has not gone down. It has been steadily increasing. We do have a little bit more outflow than we...
Okay, well, we'll look at this a little bit later. That's Never Lose Truth, and she has a 16-minute video for us, so it won't be a 30-minute video. You guys are a little bit upset about that. Yeah, it's 15 minutes this time. Thank you, Miss Anthropy. Right. Yes, we're traveling around space. I'm able to move the time-space continuum around and make adjustments because we are traveling at light speed to an outer orbit near the Andromeda strain. Just kidding. Yeah, we don't have that ability. But we are here in the middle of Conspiracy Monday land. I could talk a little bit about Barack Obama. This is Michelle Obama dancing at an Ellen DeGeneres show. And somebody made a note of looking at the body part of Michelle Obama, and they noticed that Michelle Obama has a penis and a testicle, maybe two. This video indicates this penis and testicle up close, and you can see there's something not right about this. And why would our First Lady have a penis and testicle? I know. So she doesn't mix it up like I do in my show. That's part of her problem. She doesn't talk about stuff like that. Yeah. There are a lot of transgenders out there. And by all means, I'm not hating on transgenders, okay? If Michelle Obama wants to be a dude, or woman, I don't care. Doesn't matter to me. Yeah, the point I'm making is we were lied to. Fraud was committed. That's a problem for our government and trust. Let's see what a yukata is. Apparently someone made me a robe with Fukushima on it. This is a preparation of the yukata, traditional Japanese wear.
Take both ends of the yukata with your arms forward. Check that the seam down the back is in line with the center of the body.
I'll add this to our lineup tonight, Pitoro. Thank you. Yokatas. I have my gown that was given to me by my sensei, which is, I guess, a yukata too. that I wear during my training session with karate, where I do my daily, my kata. So when I do my daily kata, I have one like that, and it fits me fine. I paid $35 for it, all cotton, never wears out. It's made of a thick canvas material. It's fantastic. Sarah wanted me to get rid of it, and I said, no, I use this. I really do. Yeah, it's just soiled from the years of working out and training with heavy bags and kickboxing, and soiled. I should probably bleach it or something. Okay, we got Oroville Dam, weather modification, never lose truth. That'll be fun. Yay. Thanks, Scissor Fight. I think she's great. I like her. I know it can get a little boring, intense listening to that woman, but it's soiled from working out. David, you are near to Bushido. I see. Really? Okay. Well, don't get me hooked into any kind of a sumo wrestling gig, because I don't do those things. I'd have to pick up about a couple 100 pounds of weight to get to my ideal weight. A code of honor and morals developed by the Japanese samurai. I would say that I'm pretty close, yeah. It's set in 1865, the year regarded as the last hurrah for the Bushido, the samurai code. Japan was on the verge of leaving its self-imposed isolation at that time. Very good. If you have any other questions, feel free to consult my AI system.
Bushido. Bushido.
Bushido.
Bushido.
Bushido.
Bushido.
Bushido.
Bushido.
Who is Max Egan? Okay, more and more people are tuning into the possibility that Max Egan may be a double agent working for the mainstream. Scissor Fight has the story right here. Who is Max Egan? Let's take a look.
Hello, my name is Max Egan, and welcome to the show.
Somebody pretending to be a Max Egan. The Barack Obama staff? No, I was never involved with anyone in the Barack Obama staff, no. Are you saying that I look like Chris Crocker, who spent 5 times with Barack Obama and James Alefantis and a camera crew? Oh, no, I'm not. I don't look a bit like that guy. No. Yeah, he's now a dude. He became a dude again, but he was infamously known for his video he made with on Britney Spears, where he started crying. Remember this guy? Remember that? Britney? That's the guy. He's crying. And I don't look a bit like this guy at all. There's no way you could pin that on me. Don't say that about Britney. Don't say that. Well, this guy turned into a, he's actually, I know, it's kind of weird, isn't it? He's got a whole story behind him. There's like multiple pictures here. There he is. That's his new look. He's now a dude. He was a tranny there for a while. But you see, I don't look a bit like this guy at all. He's much different in hair color and tonality. There's no way you can pin that on me. No way. I can't look like him. I know it's ridiculous, isn't it? Well, it just isn't happening. I am not Chris Crocker. Okay. Thank you. All right, moving on. Max Igan's got some agendas. He's pushing for a division between the Zionist left, or Zionist, the group that's pushing for Zionism versus the pro-Muslim group. And Max kind of fits into the pro-Muslim thing. And it's kind of weird. He actually doesn't want to reveal who's paying for his site. And he's had a lot of supporters. I guess, what does he have, like way more subs than most people would expect. I wonder how many subscribers he has. Max Igan. Yeah, he's got a YouTube called The Crow House. He has a large following of people. Yeah, he gets like, he's like an AdSense collector. He gets about 20,000, 30,000 hits a day. He's got 176,000 subs. That's enough to make him about 60,000 a year in income. Yeah, I'm pro objective views on the Middle East. I'm neither pro-Palestine or pro-Israel. I'm trying to remain objective. I do believe Israel has violated human rights, no question about it. But I don't have this pro-Palestine directive to get rid of Israel like the Iranians do. When you say you're pro-Palestine, it almost makes it seem like you really want to just annihilate Israel. And I don't want to see that happen. Oh, here's another one. We were warned in 1972. Really?
Christmas ain't what it used to be.
Okay, we've got a little bit of Monty Python's Flying Circus, I guess, from PK. Okay, good. I'll play that tonight. PK FarQ has a new site. Well, thank you everybody for coming in. It's been a pleasure. I do these shows nightly because we have to inform the people who are not as intelligent as us that there are alternatives to thinking like a retard, a Trump-tard or a libtard. So we have to keep the dialogue going and use this free internet as best we can to share good information. I think that's the big thrust here. I don't believe it's the Israelis that are behind this misanthropy. I believe that this is a Zionist plot. Israel doesn't comprise the vast people, the people living in Israel don't comprise the Zionist plot. In fact, they created Israel from afar. They run our country from afar too. So I don't believe the people of Israel are in any way part of that. Nor do I even believe that Netanyahu is necessarily an arm or a puppet of a Zionist state. Well, that's your position. I'm just not here to alienate a country that has potentially nuclear weapons that could destroy the world 100 times over. If you want to check out the Samson option, we'll talk about Israel's capability. Ever since the 60s, when JFK looked into the Dimona nuclear facility, they've been amassing abilities of nuclear power, nuclear capability that could easily bring up the possibility of global nuclear destruction. So why do I want to hate on a country that could easily trigger global nuclear war? Same with, why would I want to hate on Iran that could trigger nuclear war as well? I don't think it's a very important point to take a position in this. But siding solely with Israel like Donald and Joe Biden are doing, that's a big mistake, and it will certainly lead to problems for our country. No question about it. Yeah, and that's a reality that we're going to be facing. If either one of these groups pull the trigger on nuclear war, we're off and running, and it's not going to be pretty for any of us. All right, this is it for tonight. I'm Mr. Wright. Take care. I'll see you tomorrow at 5 p.m. for our Truth Tuesday show. But I'll be in the chat till 2 in the morning tonight, chatting with you guys, and maybe some audio pipes from in and out. I'll talk about things. I go off camera, though. Take care. Bye-bye.
You sweep me up. off my feet. My heart stops to beat. Cause you make me melt away. My Mr. Right, too good. Just turn my world around. Cause you're the peace I find. We found. You sweep me off my feet. My heart stops to beat. Cause you make me melt away. My feet, my heart stops to beat. Cause you make me melt away. My Mr. Right, too good to be true.